Iman Gadzhi built a $100 million empire by turning himself into a brand. And today I'm breaking down the exact personal branding strategy he used to sell out courses, scale agencies, and most recently drop $75 million to acquire consulting.com. So how does Iman do it? I spent the last week reverse engineering his every move and boiled it down to 5 actionable steps that any brand can follow, even if you're starting from zero. The first step is to pick a niche. And this is where most people mess up. They pick the wrong niche, spend months creating content, and fail. Picking the right niche starts from identifying your potential client. Here's exactly what Iman said.
And then we figured out what our perfect client looks like, and then we built an intentional brand to attract more of those clients through our content. So first thing, ask yourself, what are you gonna sell? What do you wanna sell? Then, what does your perfect follower or subscriber or whatever it is look like? And then how do you attract more of these followers?
By knowing the exact person you're targeting, you'll be able to help them solve every possible issue and become the authority in that niche. Think about it. Iman did just that. He created videos about SMMA, how to get clients, how to take sales calls. Millions of people learned from him, trusted him, and in result, bought his courses and products. Picking a great specific niche makes creating content easier, not harder. Just obsess over a small group of people and help them solve one specific problem. Become the guy who helps everyone in your exact industry. Now here's how you pick a great niche and dominate it. Most people think it's all about being the most entertaining and charismatic person, but no, lucky for us introverts, the best brands are actually the ones who share the most value, not the ones being loud. Building a trusted and profitable brand is all about being useful, solving a specific problem for a specific person. If you look at Iman, he didn't start by creating motivational videos. He started by targeting complete SMMA beginners, people who struggled the most, and then he created valuable content like outreach tutorials to solve his audience's exact problems. And in the result, everyone followed, trusted, and bought from him. But for this to work, Iman had to pick the right niche. Iman says there are 3 aspects of a profitable niche: a clear paint, like needing more clients; money on the table, for example, people paying for courses, coaching, or tools; and a community, like Reddit or school. If your niche has all of these 3 points, you'll never run out of content ideas. You'll never run out of things to sell, and your audience will never stop giving you their money. Step 2 is all about the content itself. Most people struggle with creating content because they run out of ideas. And that's not because they're uncreative. That's because of a misconception that every piece of content needs to be original. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are literally millions of winning pieces of content out there. Most viral videos follow the same predictable formulas. Study them, put your own spin to it, use it for your own niche and problem. That's how Iman creates valuable content fast, is by reusing ideas. Even this video is an idea from a different niche. And here's how you can replicate this strategy. Iman says the best formula for authority building is niche plus problem plus solution. So here are 3 content ideas you can start literally today, no matter what niche you're in. How to get your first client as a niche. Could be SMMA, could be content marketing. Why 90% of niche fail and how to avoid it. Perhaps why 90% dropshippers fail. X horrible mistakes I did as a niche. Maybe it's 7 horrible mistakes I did as a content creator. Whatever. Literally, all of these ideas can apply to any niche.
One of the best ways to come up with content is to study what other people are doing. And no, do not just copy what other people are doing within your niche of content. You need to start looking at what content has performed well for other creators in every other niche possible.
Do this and you're guaranteed to blow up. Third thing Iman did to create a brand that's worth over $100 million is conquer TikTok and Instagram with short form content. If you take a look at both of these platforms, you'll find a ton of Iman Gadzhi accounts. Iman Gadzhi Extended, Iman Gadzhi Wisdom, Clips, YouTube, Moments, Lifestyle. There are hundreds of accounts of Iman Gadzhi and all of them post similar content. While this content isn't inherently designed to sell, it captures people from the top of the funnel. By creating so much content, Iman basically keeps himself at the top of everyone's mind. You see him everywhere. So when you think of SMMA, Iman comes to mind straight away.
And we even did content siloing on short form where we have all of these extra accounts. I think we have over 30 accounts in our possession, pumping out more than 250 million views, about 300 million views a month between all those accounts we own. And then all of those accounts then flow through to either my main Instagram or all of those accounts flow through to my YouTube.
And this isn't hard to do either. You can use apps like VidBreeze to automate this process. You simply upload raw footage of yourself and you'll have content made in minutes. Content that's either motivational, inspirational, or educational, all driving traffic to your main page or your website. That's what Iman did to get more than 250 million views a month. Do the math. If at least 0.1%, not 1%, 0.1% of those views converted and bought his course, that would have made him over $500,000. And that's just 1 month. He keeps running these accounts for literally years. The oldest accounts have been created back in 2023. Another thing that Iman says made him successful is being authentic.
Like over the past 2-3 weeks, I keep waking up with this crippling anxiety. I just don't feel like myself.
But the reason I shared it is because I wanted to show the audience the authentic, unfiltered version of myself. An audience does not resonate with a hero, they resonate with the journey. Be authentic and take the audience on the journey with you, okay?
Thing is, people trust real more than perfect. Being relatable is much better than trying to appear better than someone. By sharing your mistakes and being vulnerable, people will see themselves in the older versions of you and trust you a lot more. Iman recorded his whole entrepreneurial journey. He shared his anxiety, doubts, financial struggles, breakdowns, and more. That's exactly what makes people connect with Iman on a deeper level. Trust him and follow him. So go ahead, post the behind the scenes, post the struggles, the process. If you stop hiding behind a mask, not only will people relate a lot more, it will be easier for you to create content, and that's hard to beat. Now, the reason why Iman is able to grow his views as well as sell his product isn't because he hypnotizes people. He doesn't. You see, most people fail creating content because they either try to chase views and end up with a broke audience, or they try to sell so much that their audience is exhausted and is no longer loyal. Iman has a formula that he follows to balance the two, growth and sales.
And shift to grab a larger audience within the demographic that you want to attract, while also not pissing off your current audience, because that's very important. You want to expand your audience, but a lot of times the content that expands the audience also alienates your current one. So I call this 3-to-1 content ratio.
One type of content is designed to attract new audience. These are broad videos that help majority of people, but this content may be boring to your existing audience, so you have to introduce a second type of content, nurturing. This is content that's created for your existing subscribers. It could be day in a life, vlog, stuff that brings you or your product closer to the viewers. Case studies also work. It's this 3-to-1 ratio that keeps your existing audience engaged while reaching brand new faces. Of course, no matter what content you create, if it doesn't reach the right audience, you won't grow or make any sales. That's why if your main audience is in the USA, I suggest you take a look at this video to learn how to target American audience on TikTok.